Hello and welcome to Stash Chats, my weekly series where each week I talk to a different member of the sewing community about what they're up to, how they got into sewing, and of course, their stash. So this week we're talking to the wonderful Emma, who designs all the patterns for Cinnamon Daisy. So I'm really excited to hear about how she got into sewing, how she started her sewing business, and what inspires her. So just before we get started, so you know who I am, my name is Yvette, and I am the co-founder of Stash Hub, the sewing organizer app, which I run with my husband, Doug. So we're really excited to have this conversation today to get you inspired to sew as well. So let's bring Emma on and learn more about her and Cinnamon Daisy. Hi, Emma. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Really excited to get to know you a bit better today.
Let's get in.
So, do you want to kick us off by telling us about how you first got into sewing?
Yeah, I've always designed from like a young age, drawing different sketches and whatnot. But I only ever touched a sewing machine when I hit college. I did art and design at college, and one of the modules was textiles. Um, and for one of the projects, we had to create a garment. Now, I designed this dress, and then was told to just like go and make it. But I'd never touched a sewing machine before, and I had no idea how to even thread it. But the memories, it must have been like a core memory because the teacher, I remember being over me saying, "How do you not know how to thread a sewing machine?" I
That's
was
really
like,
unhelpful. Like they could have shown you.
right. So I tried my best in the bits that I couldn't do. I then stuck it together with hot glue.
Did
So
that affect your final
that
grade?
that marks the start of my sewing journey. It does get better. I went on to do fashion design at uni, and that's where I like scrapped the glue gun and really honed in on the actual sewing skills.
Nice. So you weren't put off then by like,
No,
the idea of being thrown in at the deep end and not even being taught how to use the
like
machine.
up you go. Yeah.
Does that kind of reflect like in your sewing patterns that you want to, make it an easier experience for beginners to get started?
Yeah, it probably does actually, because I think the way that I write things is I know that there are obviously patterns that are more suited for beginners, but the way I try and word things is could somebody pick this up who's never done it before and understand like what I'm trying to say and be as specific as possible with all of the different pictures and images, yeah, to just help them. But I think as well, I'm quite like if I don't know how to do something, I'll just learn it. But maybe that's because I've had to, because no one helped.
It's definitely a personality type, I think. I think some people, if they have to learn something new, it's like, oh, maybe I'll put that off or I'll
Yeah.
wait for someone to show me. But like, I know my husband Doug's very much like if there's something he doesn't know, that's actually like quite exciting for him because he's like, oh,
Yes,
great, I've
yeah,
got a
my
new thing to
partner's the
learn.
same. Yeah, and he'll just research it like constantly until he like nails it.
Yeah. Then
Yeah,
he always tells me about what he's doing, and I don't understand any of it because he's telling me about coding stuff, and I'm like, okay, great. And then he's like, right, yeah, no, I figured it out now. Just the act of him trying to explain it to me helps him figure it out. But I don't contribute anything.
just nod.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm just there. I'm just like a sounding board, like a
Yeah.
blank wall to talk to.
Yeah.
So you did the fashion design at uni. So were you thinking, like originally when you were kind of doing that course, that you would go more into the fashion industry?
Um, to be completely honest, no, I just don't think you know what you want at that age. Like, how are you supposed to plan this out at that age? So the way I did it was I thought, what do I enjoy doing? And so I did the thing that I enjoyed doing without a plan.
Yeah.
There was no plan really. And then I graduated in a recession, which made it really hard to get a job. And then I just got stuck in retail jobs for probably about 8 years. Um, yeah, hated that. I hated that. But we all have to do jobs at some point in our lives that we don't like. So that was my period. Um, And then I managed to get out of retail and into a more creative role. But it was only when I used to be a homewares designer for a textile company. But I then moved homes, move house, move areas, and I didn't enjoy that job. So I thought, why would I move house and commute to a job that I don't like? So I was like, I moved house, I quit my job, and then started this.
Amazing.
That's like one very, very brave leap.
So was it something that you'd been kind of thinking about for a while, or you just
Yeah,
like, what do I do now?
yeah. When COVID hit, I was made furlough for it was about 10 months, I think. So I was at home with a sewing machine that had been sat there since uni days with some fabric stash that I've accumulated over the years, but I'd never really done anything with. Um, so yeah, I started sewing again during COVID, and I was like, why am I not doing this more? Like, I really love this. And yeah, and then that's it. We're here.
Amazing. That's really nice that you kind of fell back in love with it
Yeah,
when you just had more time that you're able to dedicate to it.
yeah, yeah. COVID was a very dark time for a lot of people, but it was a very much needed time for me to like go back to what do I actually enjoy doing. I was
Yeah.
very lucky that I was just given that opportunity to just be at home, and
Yeah.
it was good.
I think especially like in the COVID times, you really had to like make an effort to like find that joy where you
Yeah,
could. So
yeah,
it's really good that you kind of had sewing to fall back on and
yeah.
fall back in love with. So when you got back into sewing, were you like sewing kind of commercial patterns or indie patterns, or were you drafting your own things?
Yeah, I was just I'd already got a bit of a pattern stash going just from like indie designers. Um, I think one of the first ones that I made in lockdown was from Common Stitch. Um, and I still wear that dress now. It's lovely. But yeah, just like and from there it was just like tweaking little things of and playing around. But yeah, I hadn't drafted anything since uni until I started Cinnamon Daisy. So it was a bit of a learning curve again. It was like, oh, what am I doing with this now? Like, what am I doing with this block? And it was like, I did get in my own head a bit. I thought, I can't do this. I've lost it all. But oh, you've not. You just need to redo things again and got out my old books. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's that. And yeah, so it was, I had to self-teach again.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's sort of you still have to kind of relearn it, but it's quicker the second
yeah, it
time because
was.
you
Yeah, it was much
remember.
quicker. Yeah.
Brilliant. So were you like buying fabrics online during that time as well?
Yeah, and it did lead to some interesting fabric choices.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can never quite know what you're getting online. Sometimes things
No,
aren't as you expect.
and I think because I'd not really bought fabric online before. Now I think because I've done it, it's much easier to know what you're looking for online. But I have made some mistakes, and I'm going to show you one of them in
Okay.
a bit. Uh, yeah, you do get better at buying fabric online. I hardly ever go in store now, mainly because where I live, there's not much around. I'd have to drive quite far away to get to a fabric store. So yeah, most of the stuff I buy now is online.
And once you've discovered your like favorite fabric shops as well, you can kind of like trust the quality a
Yeah,
bit better as
you know
well.
what you're getting and you know what their base cloth is like.
Yeah,
So a new print on it is going to be like what you've already had before. So yeah, you get better at buying it online.
definitely. So what is your fabric stash like overall?
Um, well, I would look at it and say it's quite big, but I've seen other people's on Instagram and thought, oh my God, like where do you start with that? So actually, yeah, it is sizable. A lot of it has come from because I used to work in the textile industry. We would have samples delivered all the time, like new beddings, curtains, like different base cloth samples and stuff like that. if those weren't selected, they would just get thrown into the chuck out pile. So at the end of every week, I'd be like rummaging through this pile. So I've got stacks of fabric that are great for like toiling things, like old like bedding that never went live. So I've got a lot of old fabric that's great for like practicing.
Yeah, that's really handy because you
Yeah.
can spend quite a lot on like calico fabric.
Yeah,
But
I hardly ever use calico. I've got some because I think it's needed for some patterns that need like more structure, but quite often I'll just use old bedding sheets.
so
But
are
yeah,
you an
it
avid
is great.
toiler?
I am, yeah, yeah. I haven't always been. I've been more of a wing it and like just pin and tuck and create new pleats where they shouldn't be, just to make things fit. But yeah, well, I have to do because it's my job, so I've got
Mm.
to make sure that the fit is now perfect, or as perfect as it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
And
got.
that's one of the things I've heard about the poppy pattern is that you've provided really good fitting instructions and different cup sizes and stuff. And I think that's kind of part of why the pattern's been so popular and successful because all of the versions that I've seen anyway fit so well and they look so good. And I think it makes people think, oh, like I definitely want to make this because I think
Yeah,
sometimes people will look at a pattern and think, oh, you know, don't think I'll be able to fit that for my body and it'll put
yeah,
them off.
yeah. I had that. I used to get before I launched. I'd get DMs saying, "I really love this, but there's no way it's going to fit my boobs." And I'm like, "Just wait, like watch. Honestly, like it's going to. I promise it's going to fit your boobs. I promise." Um, and it was really important to me to provide that whole like fitting guide that's within the manual, so that people can take it and it can fit them. They just need to do know like the right tweaks to do. But I like hold your hand all the way through it so you can do. But yeah, it just looks phenomenal on everybody. Looks
Have
so
you
good.
been really pleased with the Poppy launch?
Oh yeah, it's just been it was overwhelming. Like it's I think the Willow is still my best-selling pattern. Um, but the reaction from Poppy has been different in like how it's made people feel about their own bodies, which is like the key thing that I always bang on about is like feeling good in your own skin. Like wow, like what like that feeling is so good. So yeah, the reaction from Poppy in like how it's made people feel has just been like a joy. So good.
Yeah, it's like you've seen that dream that you've set out to
Yeah.
achieve like come to reality for so many people. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's amazing.
and have people like message me saying, I didn't know that I could feel this way. Like I love it. I
Oh,
love wearing like something so fitted. So yeah, it like on many occasions I've been like, oh, that's so nice.
wow, amazing. So anyway, back to your stash. Do you find your own stash quite inspiring? You've got fabrics to pull from.
Yeah, I do. I try not to buy without a project in mind, but there's been so many nice fabrics launched recently that I've noticed the creeping in.
Mm. And there's a difference between like buying with a project in mind and actually having time to sew up that
So
project.
at the minute, I've got the way that my fabric's set out is I've got those units from IKEA that you see everywhere, you know, those box shaped ones. So I've got two of those back to back and they're like jammed full of fabric. But now the fabric's spilled out on top of the table bit because I've got no more room. So I'm obviously buying more fabric faster than I can sew. It's becoming quite evident at the minute because I've run out of storage space.
It's those summer collections, isn't it? It's just too much.
I can't get to it quick enough, which is quite annoying.
And in terms of like patterns, do you tend to sew like different people's patterns or do you do mostly your own patterns?
Yeah, I haven't bought a pattern in years. Yeah, it's just mainly my own things. But I think it's because I in order to sell the things that I'm making, I need to make it and show in different fabrics and things. And I already don't have time to do that. So I don't have time to sew like other people's patterns, but there are some really lovely ones out there. But yeah, at the minute, it's mainly just my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us about your color blocked poppy?
Oh, love this one. So, um, back in pattern testing for the Sylvie skirt, one of the pattern testers, Kath, made a colour blocked Sylvie skirt, and I've been obsessed with it ever since then. Like, and that was in November 23. But it's just been there, like living in my mind, thinking one day I'm gonna make this. And then there was a girl from the sewing community shared some sewing inspiration that she'd found on Pinterest where the she would use the Sylvie skirt and do the scalloped hem with the shades. And I messaged her and I was like, I'm so sorry, but I'm 100% stealing this idea from you. Like, I will give you full credit for it. It's all yours. Um, so yeah, it started off with just doing the colour block Sylvie skirt. But it's so wild that I thought the only way I'm going to be able to pull this off is if I make a matching top to go with it. And the poppy was perfect because it's got all of the different panels. It was really easy to colour block it. And wow, what an outfit. I just love it. It's so good. And great for using up like all of the fabric was remnants. So just like the odd little bits of leftover linens.
That's really cool because the colors all went together so
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yeah, loved it. Good make that.
Did it take a long time? Because you did all like binding down the seams as
Binding.
well.
I almost didn't do the binding because the thought of it, and I was like, oh God, this is going to take me forever. But I bought myself a bias binding foot for my sewing machine, which has just been the ultimate game changer. I can't believe I've never had one before.
Wow, definitely going to have to look into that
Yeah,
then. That sounds
yeah.
great.
Yeah, because it just, you feed the bias tape through the foot and then the fabric sort of sandwiches in between, and it all just does it at the same time. So there's no ironing the binding into like the shapes. It just does it. So
Wow.
it was like way quicker than it would have been if I'd not used the binding foot.
What prompted you to get the binding foot? Were you just like, oh, how can I like speed this up?
Yeah. It was just a pure speed. And I think I'd seen that it was available for my machine, but just never bought one.
Yeah, there's
Always just been up there.
so many different types of feet that you can get. It's just figuring out what they do and
Yeah,
when you can use it.
yeah,
And then figuring out like which one's which when you've got them all.
yeah, yeah. I did do that the other day. I was like, I don't know, what does it look like again? Oh, yeah, it's that. Yeah, they've all got like funny different fittings on the feet, and I never know what half of them do.
Well, I watched a video on YouTube from Ruan unboxing a sewing machine, which is the same model as mine. And there was like a second box of feet. And I thought there was just a walking foot in there, but there was loads of different feet in there.
Oh,
And I was like, I've never opened my box. And so I went to get it out of the cupboard and I was like, I've got so many more
wow,
feet. I probably still won't use them, but at least I know I've got them now.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. So you teased on your Instagram that you're working on a new pattern currently. Are you able to tell us where you're at with that?
So I'm doing some trousers. So I've not done trousers before. And I'm at the very beginning stages. So I've done one to all of it and I've made some fit adjustments. And then I'm hopefully this afternoon slash tomorrow, I can make another one and see how that fits. But I did some research because there's some design elements to it that I thought, oh, I wonder if anyone else has done this before, but I can't actually find a trouser pattern that's got this design element.
Oh, interesting.
So, and I spent a long time looking. So yeah, so that's I'm not going to give too much away there. But yeah, it's that's exciting. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a real teaser, that
Yeah.
is.
Stay
Stay
tuned.
tuned. Yeah. What else are you working on at the moment?
The sew along for the poppy um is going to be on YouTube tomorrow, maybe this afternoon. I'm really close to finishing it, and thank God because that is really hard work. Really hard work, but people have been asking for it. So it's there and it's coming, and I will be going back and doing them for my other patterns as well because for all the visual learners, it's really important for them. So if it's needed, I'm doing it. It's just going to take some time.
Yeah, because you've got to then go through and make everything as well.
Yeah. And film it all and edit all the footage down. It's that I just wildly underestimated like how long that would take to edit all the footage down. Um, I'd love to be able to get somebody else to do that bit. If I could just give them all the raw footage and say, right, okay, you do that.
Yeah, because you're a one-woman show at Cinnamon Daisy, aren't
Oh,
you?
it's so hard. It's just me and I do it all. Yeah.
Yeah, my hat is like perpetually off to all the YouTubers that do like a video every week or sometimes like two videos a week. I'm
Oh,
like
like how?
so impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, that won't be me.
So, when did you kind of get involved in the sewing community on Instagram online?
Um, Probably in lockdown. So that's when I started. I just created my own. I think it was called That's So Emma. I only had about 200 followers or something, but I would just be sharing like my sewing makes. Um, and then because I'd already built up a bit of a following, when I started Cinnamon Daisy, I just changed the handle name to that and then like developed it from that. But yeah, it was only from like 200 followers. Um, yeah, but what a community to be involved in. I just love it. Absolutely love it.
And people make such like surprising things as well, don't they? Like so amazing. I'm always inspired by what other people make.
Yeah, and it's just nice to chat to people that you've got that common interest in, like, oh, what you making? Like, oh, what fabric are you going to use for that? Like, I can't have those conversations with my partner because he's not bothered. But yeah, it's just really nice to have that. Yeah, it's like having like thousands of friends around you all with the same interest.
Yeah, definitely. Have you been to any in-person sewing events?
Um, I've been to like fabric fairs. The oh God, what is it called? Not the Stitch Festival, because that's in London, isn't it? The Knitting and Stitching Show. That's the one. That's in York. Um, but not any not anything else really. I'm going to my very first Frock Tales in Glasgow this September,
Oh,
so that'll be
nice.
fun. And I know there are a couple of people that are already wearing Poppy to that as well. So
You
that's
have
just
to
going to be surreal that I'm going to be there and people will be wearing that.
you have to get a picture with all the poppies.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine there's going to be loads because it's such a great party dress.
Yeah, yeah. So that'll be good, and I get to go mingle with the sewing community.
Yeah, I went to Scottish Rocktails last year and it was such good fun.
Did you? Are you
The-
going this year?
No, just because of like travel and timings, but yeah, I think it's going to be really good. The ladies did such a good job of organising it.
Yeah, it looked like great fun last year, and I was like, oh, I had real FOMO. It's like I want to be there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, because one of my stash chats, I talked to Tanya, who organised Welsh Frocktails, and that was like a similar thing where I just couldn't make it, and then I was like seeing all the pictures, and like everyone stayed at the same hotel in Aberystwyth, and then they all walked down the street together in their
Oh,
handmade outfits, and I was like. This is amazing, like that everyone's been brought together by a love of sewing, and probably all
yeah.
the locals were looking out the window like, who are all
What's
these
going on?
people? Like, why are they all dressed so nice?
So much color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has your style changed at all since like sewing more of your own clothes?
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I think that's because uh, the way that I view my body now has changed because I'm no longer seeing it as the problem. Whereas
Yeah.
before, I couldn't fit into your typical pair of jeans because my bum's bigger, but my waist is smaller. So it was always gaping, and sleeves are always too long because I've got short arms. And just like you always end up thinking that, like, God, what's wrong with me? And it's not you. And I do bang on all the time. It's like, it's not you, it's not your body. You just need to make clothes that fit it. And from being able to do that, it just opens up a whole different world. So now I may not have worn this fabric with bows all over, but I don't know, like it just the confidence that you get from wearing something that fits right, like opens up everything. So yeah, you end up wearing things and wearing fabrics that you may not have picked before.
Get more creative
Yeah.
with what you wear as well, because I think it is more fun, like with your creativity to like plan a project that's more like interesting rather than like a sort of wardrobe staple that you might,
Yeah. And
typically
I do
buy.
think there's a place for wardrobe staples because on those days you do just want to throw on a t-shirt, but it's nice to know that that t-shirt's been made by you and it fits in the right places. And yeah, like even that color block one, I put it on and I was like, this is mental, this. Like there's so many colors on this. Um, I went and showed my daughter, and her words were, um, you look, it's a bit extreme and you look like a flower.
How old is your daughter?
10, but they're either really complimentary or not. It's like, I was like, right, okay, so I'm an extreme flower. Um, so yeah, it has changed because it does, you just no longer care. I was like,
Yeah,
no, I'm gonna
definitely.
be this extreme flower tonight because I've made it and it looks really good.
Yeah, it's better to be like an extreme flower than a sort of half-assed flower.
Yeah, exactly. So if I'm gonna be a flower, I'm gonna be like the best flower.
Did you have a special occasion to wear your poppy dress to?
Yeah, it was my partner's parents' 50th wedding anniversary. So yeah, I was very bright in that room.
Nice. Yeah, really, that's why I like having a gathering of all sewists together is like so like eye-catching, I think, because like
Yeah.
everyone's bright, like everyone's got like, lots of details and they're all going out there. So I think it's just really fun. Do you have a favorite type of fabric to sew with?
I do tend to gravitate towards a viscose. Um, but yeah, but also cotton. Anything that's like natural fibers, really. Not so much structured. I'm looking at my stash now thinking, yeah, there is a theme. They're all quite fluid. I don't like to feel restricted, so I don't often buy a structured fabric. I like the breathability. I like to be able to expand, which is something that's like in all of my patterns. They'll all be able to expand in some way because my body can change like significantly throughout the day.
Yeah, that's such a good idea. And I think we're seeing it more and more as well, like not just in sewing patterns, but in ready to wear as well. Like finally designers have realized that like people aren't like always the same size and it's much more sustainable as well. Like if you put on a couple of pounds, you can
Yeah,
still
exactly.
wear all
It
the
can
same
grow with you a
clothes.
little bit. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So what are your like best sort of techniques to have like clothes that the size changes?
Um, for me, for my body, it's always my waistline. I could look at a biscuit and like expand. Like my belly goes up and down throughout the day constantly. So anything like with the willow dress that I'm wearing, it's got the ties. So I can loosen those ties at the side if I have a big lunch and I can still look cute in this dress. So yeah, it's just like anything where you're gonna and I think that's probably the same for most people. That's usually the area that fluctuates. Um, but even even like a different bra or no bra will give you a different measurement around your bust. So the poppy's got like an elasticated back. So elastic becomes your best friend.
Mm. Yeah, I'm
Um,
like addicted to sort of elastic back waistband since the
yeah,
pandemic.
yeah, it's just, yeah, it's so much more comfortable. Yeah.
Definitely. Do you have like a favorite sort of design of fabric that's like your weakness?
Um, do you mean like for who produces the fabric?
Just like, if you see, so for me, it's like, I love like the color blue and like cobalt blues, and I love a floral.
Yeah.
So, like, if you see a certain design, you're just like, oh, I've got to have that.
Yeah, I am definitely drawn to blues. Definitely. Um, I'm always drawn to colours that are bright but muted. So it's not like really bold colours, but they are still bright, but they're just like toned down, which you'll see in a minute when I show you these these that I've got in my stash. Um, and I do like a nice print. There are some florals in there.
Do you
All
want to start
fabrics.
start the show and tell?
All fabrics. Yeah. Yeah. Shall I show you some fabrics?
Yeah, yeah. So that's what we're all here for, really.
Yeah.
To bask in the glory of beautiful fabrics.
Would you like to see one where I was like, what was I thinking?
Yeah,
Should we
let's do it.
start off
Let's
with
do
that?
it.
So, I can't remember when I bought this. And you'll see why I say, what was I thinking? Not that there's anything wrong with this, but I've definitely not bought it with a plan in mind. It's this. It's pink and it's sort of hairy.
Definitely unusual.
And I've bought 3 meters of it. Like, what was I planning on doing with this? Wearing like a really big hairy dress. Like, honestly, I look at this and I think, what was the plan, Emma? Like, what went through your mind? It looks bright, it's brighter in real life. It's sort of like fading it out on the screen. So it's like a baby pink color, but it's just got these like hairy bits and it's stretch.
Oh. Well, yeah, everyone who's watching is going to have to let us know in the comments what would you do with the hairy pink
Yeah.
fabric. I feel like maybe like a long cardigan or like a jacket could work. But yeah, you definitely don't want a pair of like hairy trousers.
Oh, no one wants hairy trousers, but it is quite
It's quite,
see-through.
yeah, it's quite sheer as well.
Yeah. So I don't know like what went on there. It would make like
Interesting.
a cute jumper, but why have I bought 3 meters of it? I didn't need that much. So yeah, that's one of them. That is a what was you thinking, Emma?
That's amazing. Oh, well, maybe you can do a jumper and then like give the other meter and a half to
Yeah,
someone else so they can have a jumper as well.
it is soft, but yeah, very strange.
Was that an online purchase?
It was, and it was like a long time ago. So I think that was when yeah, I wasn't very experienced at buying fabrics online or having a plan in mind.
Do you remember it arriving and you thinking like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and I think I did a story about it as well, actually. I was just like, like, why? Why? That's the only thing I look at and think, why? Um, Second fabric. Now I do like this one. This one is from New Craft House, and I don't have a project in mind, but I've had it in my stash for a long time. And it's this. It's got like a iridescent shimmer to it.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's quite transparent. Is it? Yeah, it's got like a mermaid vibes to it.
Mm.
Do I want to look like a mermaid though?
You could even do like a sort of, like the fit and then the mermaid flare at the bottom, like buy a skirt for a full-on mermaid look.
Yeah, but it's quite springy, so it doesn't really gather very well. It's got like a bounce to the fabric. Yeah, it's unusual. I've never seen anything that's got like this sort of shimmer to it.
Mm.
Camera's not really picking it up very well. Um, but yeah, I don't have a plan for that. But I would like to make something with it if I was
Yeah.
being a mermaid.
It would make a really nice dress, but you'd have to like be careful that it didn't turn out like too bridesmaidy, especially if you're going to
Yeah,
wear it to a
yeah,
wedding.
yeah, it is. It could very much be that. I don't have a great deal of it either. I think I've only got um mm, 2 meters of it. So it's almost not enough for a dress.
Mm.
So yeah, that's another little question mark. Like, what am I supposed to do with this?
It could look really good, kind of like layered up into like a skirt or something.
Yeah, I do think it would probably lend itself best to a skirt. But then what am I going to wear with it on top? Because it's so unusual and it's got like a greenish shimmer. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know about that. Yeah, if it's a skirt, what am I going to wear with it?
Yeah, we're gonna have to get people active in the comments with their
Yeah, I need some
suggestions.
help with these. Um, this next one is one that I've had in my stash. Like, I bought this during COVID, and this is from Fabric Godmother, and I've been so scared of cutting into it.
This is a precious fabric then.
Yeah, how much have I got? I think I might have 3 meters of this. Now, I think I might have to stand up to show you this because it's quite large scale. So, like, if I stand behind it, so it's got, and it's big scale. Um, it's got some parrots on it, I think. Yeah, there's a parrot.
Oh, and big butterflies as
Big
well.
butterflies. Like it's a really big print, like the leaves. Like it's like a pinkish colour. It's really pretty, but I've just been so scared of cutting into it.
Yeah, the hard, like large scale prints are really hard to like know what to do with because you don't want to
Yeah,
break them up too much.
yeah, so it needs to be something that's big. Um, I think I don't, and again, I've bought this without a plan. It was years ago. Um, yeah, my camera keeps going funny. Just trying to get it in the right light. But yeah, I don't really know what to do with this. I do think because it's such large scale, it would be nice as like um not like a dressing gown, but like of that style that you could just wear out and about.
Mm.
Something that's like long, just so that you can see all of the pattern, but I don't know if I've got enough fabric for that. I would like to wear it one day.
Mm, yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, the camera's not doing it justice. But yeah, it's just got these lovely parrots. Parrot, is that a parrot?
Maybe like a cockatoo. I don't know if
Cockatoo?
it's
Yeah,
like
with like
technically a type of parrot. I'm not really
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah, just very large
Yeah,
scale.
that would be so nice, like to wear on holiday as well. If
Yeah,
you made like a, um, trying to think of the word, like a sort of duster or a
yeah,
caftan.
yeah, yeah, caftan, yeah, that sort of thing. I say dressing gown, but caftan is the more accurate word. Yeah. And then two fabrics that are newly added to my stash, both from Sew Me Sunshine, which is this one.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Yeah. And this is a viscose. Um, yeah, really like this one. And I think for this, I'm gonna make my fern dress. The fern was originally like a blouse or a cardigan, if depending if you used woven or knit. But then at the end of last year, I created an add-on so that you could turn it into a dress. So I think I'm going to make that into a dress.
Nice. Have you seen the dress that Amy from Almond Rock Sews has made
Yeah,
with the where she's used like the
yeah,
ribbon
the square.
motif and the
Yeah, it
square
looks really
neckline?
nice, doesn't it?
So
Yeah.
good.
I remember when she had on her stories, didn't she? And she was asking for votes, like which neckline. And I was like, yeah, square, 100%. So I'm glad she did that because it looks really nice, the way that she's used
Mm.
like the border.
Yeah, and the square neckline really suits her as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it looks lovely. So I've got some competition for
Well,
the
that, you just have to make something completely different.
yeah. And then this is another one from Sew Me Sunshine, which is this one.
Oh, I love that print.
Yeah, but don't have a plan for this. So yeah, currently showing you a lot of fabrics with no plans.
After you said you only buy with a plan in mind.
I know, and this is the problem is that I went like back when I started, I would buy fabrics without a plan, learn from my mistakes, then stop doing that. But it's more, yeah, this year I've just found like, oh, I'll get that, I'll get that. Um, yeah, love that one. But
Mm.
again, I don't know. I did see, oh, can't think what her handle is now. Someone's made some trousers in this.
Was it Jess from So
Yes,
What If
yeah,
I
yeah,
Sew?
yeah. Yeah, Jess made some trousers. Yeah, they're lovely then.
Mm. Yeah, I wouldn't immediately think like trousers for that
No, I
fabric, but they
wouldn't.
turned out so well.
Yeah. So now I'm thinking, oh, yeah, maybe trousers. So yeah, that's those are my fabrics. I've got loads more, but it just depends on how much you want to see.
Yeah, oh,
Those
that's
are what
really
I'm
cool.
this morning.
I mean, you've shown all the ones you need ideas for, and that's like what we need help with.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, help please.
Oh, yeah, that's brilliant. Do you ever like buy a fabric or like even just see a fabric that you really like and you're like, yeah, this isn't going to work for any of my patterns. I'm going to have to come out with something else.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to design a trouser pattern now so I can use
yeah.
this.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm like the way I'm designing patterns is I'm just going around my wardrobe thinking, right, well, what am I missing? What's next? Um, so yeah, I'll get to all of the fabrics eventually, just very slowly.
Do you enjoy a good pattern hack as well?
Yeah, because I just think it's great to be able to show what else you can do with it, just to give people some ideas, um, just make it more for them.
Yeah. Yeah, you can like really get your money's worth out of a pattern
Yeah,
like and also just like your time's worth as well. Like if you've already fitted it really well
yeah, yeah,
and then you can say, oh well, you can do these tweaks to make it sleeveless or something.
yeah,
You've got a whole different look without having to start from scratch on a new
yeah.
pattern.
Yeah, I think it's really good for the people that are buying it that they've got like their money's worth. Um, and that's something I try to do with all my patterns anyways, to have like so many variations that you could do like within that pattern anyway, but then I'll show you different hacks. Like the fern is a cardigan, but I've recently done a hack where you can turn it into a crew neck jumper. So that's like a blog post that's on my website. But so yeah, I just think it's great to be able to give the people, if they've already bought it, hey, do you know you could make this as well with it?
I
Um,
think it's quite good as well to like maybe get started with doing a bit of your own pattern drafting as well because like starting from nothing is so hard, but if you've already got a pattern
yeah,
and then you can like have a blog that walks you through like changing the neckline or something, you
yeah,
can kind of get a feel for if you like that process.
yeah. And you quickly pick up new techniques as well by doing it, which all helps your sewing skills.
Definitely. Are there any skills that you're like wishing that you could learn,
Um,
or any particular things that you like haven't made yet that you really want to make?
well, I guess that's probably the trousers because the last time I made some trousers, um, we did it a bit at uni and but they were just based off a standard size 12 block that fitted someone who was a size 10 with no lumps or bumps. Um, and then I made myself some shorts, sorry, in lockdown. But they didn't fit very well. So it's just, yeah, like I feel like quite brand new to trousers, but it never puts me off. Like I'm about to create a sewing pattern for everybody, having not really had much experience with trousers. Um, so if I can do it, then you guys can do it. That's
Does
the
it
one.
make you feel quite vulnerable, like releasing a pattern?
Yeah, it does. Because the whole sewing community then scrutinizes it. But everyone's kind, so but yeah, anything where you've put your heart and soul out into the world and you're like, please be gentle with me.
Yeah,
But yeah, it
yeah.
can do. But yeah, I'm not really someone who's phased. Like if I don't know something, I'll just go and learn it.
That's really inspiring. And I
Yeah.
think, yeah, because it's very easy to like get stuck in like always just making the same things, or
Yeah.
because you just think, oh no, I can't learn to fit trousers. I'll just only wear dresses from now
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
really excited for this release with the special detail. I'm so
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm hoping to turn this around quite quickly. I can't see it being too much of an issue, like with Poppy, because of the fit around the bust. It took me about 6 months to do it, which is quite a long time for me. Um, I would expect to turn a pattern around in 3/4 months. But yeah, Poppy was a labor of love.
Is that because you had to like test it on lots of different people to kind of get
Yeah,
an idea of the adjustments?
yeah, because I wanted it to be, well, I mean, I'm size inclusive anyway, my sewing patterns, but I wanted to provide like the different cup sizes. And because it's so fitted, I thought that I can't just go straight into pattern testing. So I did 2 rounds of fit testing first with about 6 people. And they tested it, and that was great. That was a really good starting point then. And I knew then which adjustments to tweak to get it right to where it is today. But I couldn't do any of it without the sewing community. Like, what a team.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really good as well that you've, been thoughtful about being size inclusive and making sure you get that fit right. Because I know that's something that definitely, has been like an issue that gets discussed a lot in the sewing community where, sizes will just get graded up, but without that much care. And so sometimes the larger sizes, the fit is not quite right.
Yeah.
So like putting time into that's definitely worth it,
Yeah,
I think.
it's so important. Like, why would I provide something that's not for everybody? Like, I don't want to leave somebody out. That doesn't feel fair. So yeah, that's always at the forefront of my mind. Like, is this for everybody? Um, yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't do it without the community.
Do you think you'll go like back to any of your previous patterns and like add more cup size options in the
So
future?
that's once I've done the YouTube video, and yeah, I'm working on the other pattern as well, but I'm also taking this time to go back to my other patterns. So Willow will have different cup sizes. So I'm going to do that. And Fern, because it's an oversized boxy style, cup sizes aren't really necessary that much. I don't think people have massively adjusted that, the ones that have maybe needed it. But yeah, that's just like a question mark. I'm not certain on that yet. Um, but yeah, I'm definitely going to go back and do that with Willow. And well, that's my only one actually. Yeah. So yeah, so Willow will have cup sizes, and then everything will have a sew along video. And so I'm just going to bring everything up to where Poppy is at the minute because I feel like she's really setting the standard.
Mm.
And then yeah, I'm good to go again then.
Have you felt like you've had like a lot of new eyes on Cinnamon Daisy since the Poppy release?
Yeah, yeah. The launch was just like fantastic. The reaction from it was just incredible. Yeah, and I think yeah, just like people knowing that they can actually make it for them,
Yeah, that's really special.
seeing it on different body shapes and sizes.
Yeah, and including different body shapes and sizes like in your like promotional images
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, it's important. Like why wouldn't I? Do you know, it's just like doesn't even come into question.
Yeah, oh, that sounds amazing. It's such a good, I don't know, I feel like your approach behind it is just so inclusive and so, um, thoughtful. I think we're really lucky to have like, indie patterns like yours. It's just
Yeah,
so, you know, so helpful to get into sewing for all kinds of people.
yeah, yeah. Good. I'm glad.
How do you name your patterns?
I like to go with something that's like related to nature. So yeah, everything is related to nature in some way with the names, but I really like girls' names. So and I do refer to them as like she, like she will make you feel like this, as if they're human, but they're not. But yeah, yeah, just like a feel. The poppy actually was named. I did a story where I didn't know what to call it, and so everybody gave suggestions, and then I picked some final ones, and then I got the community to vote for the name. But someone had commented saying it should be Poppy because it makes your boobs pop. And well, that was it. And I was like, okay, that's it. That makes perfect sense now. She's called Poppy.
No one's going to be able to unhear that now. Everyone's going to be thinking of that every time they see the pattern now.
Makes your boobs pop. And it does. Like it gives you great boobs in this sewing pattern.
Yeah, because well, a lot of people have said they like it because they don't even have to wear a bra because the fit
Yeah,
of the pattern is so good.
yeah. And that's been like game changing. Like, I mean, I don't have, there's not much there for me. So I'll often go braless because there's no point. But for people that have got like eye cup sized boobs, to be able to wear something without a bra and then say like, I never thought this was possible. Like, how great is that?
Yeah, so cool. It made
Yeah.
such a big difference.
Freeing the boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. Do you have like a list of names kind of floating around that you
Yeah,
might
I do. I've got
use in
like
the future?
a little list next to me now because I was looking at it the other day thinking, what could these trousers be called? Um, yeah, so I do have like a little collection of names that could be, but we'll see.
Yeah, there'll be the peachy.
Yeah. The peachy trousers. Yeah, I might add that to it. Might add that to it.
Brilliant. Is there anything else you want to tell us about before we wrap up this chat?
Um, no, I think I've updated you on where I'm at. I am going to have a play. I said this to you last week. I still need to play around with your magic mock-up because what a cool tool that is.
It's in
But
the
I think,
Stash Hub app now. We've finally
oh,
added
is
it into
it?
the app, yeah, so you can use
Brilliant.
like patterns and fabrics that are already uploaded to your collection. So yeah, I
Oh,
think
nice.
like hopefully it will give people that little push they need to like
Yeah,
actually start their sewing projects.
yeah, because I can obviously, if you've got the software, you can do it on Illustrator or Photoshop, but most people don't if they're just sewing things for themselves. Um, so yeah, it's hard to visualize sometimes. Like, oh, could that work with that? Yeah, it's just brilliant. Well done.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't deserve the credit because I was just like, this would be really cool, and then Doug makes it happen with his coding wizardry. But
Yeah,
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 my
good teamwork.
my favorite comment was because we called it magic mock up, and my favorite comment was, "Oh, when you guys call something magic, you don't mess about."
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, so I think that'll be a job for next week. I'm going to have a little play around and then hopefully I can find some patterns to go with this fabric that I've got.
Yeah, we'll come back and check the comments as well
Yeah,
and see what ideas everyone else has got.
yeah, will do. Yeah, please send your ideas.
Yeah, and I'll put links to everything we've chatted about in the description underneath the video so you can all
Oh,
have a nosy at the colour blocked poppy that we were chatting about and yeah, all that.
thank you very much.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for joining us on Stash Chats, and I'll see you again live at 8 p.m. next week.
Oh, thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.